Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. So this video is going to be something interesting. We are going to see the how to configure the alternate functionality of GPIO pins or any port pin. Okay, for that what we will be needing is we will need our user manual, the data sheet, the STM cube ID to code in or OneNote notepad, right? So to explain the things, what I'll do is I'll start from scratch. First thing first, right? What is alternate functionality? So if I have to explain to you what is alternate functionality on GPIO port pins, right? Now we have already seen that we were using GPIO A. So we have configured GPIO A as digital output, right? This is PA1 we have configured as digital output. So another pin we have configured as digital input, that was PA3, and we have configured another pin as analog input. So this was PA2. Now here what we were doing is we were giving logic low or logic high, right? Only two states, 0 and 1. From here we were reading logic low or logic high, so 0 or 1, right? Here we were reading the ADC values from logic 0 to logic 1, or from 0 volts to 3.3 volts. Okay, and we were reading the intermittent values, not intermittent, but we were reading the ADC values, right? So now we have the fourth functionality of the GPIO pin, that is alternate function. Alternate functionality. So for this what we are going to do is we are going to use PA0. We will see which alternate functionalities are available on PA0. So on PA0, which alternate functionalities are there? Okay, so see, in order to configure PA0 or any port pin as a digital input, digital output, analog input or alternate functionality, we use mode register. So this mode register sets the mode of the port pin, in which mode we want to use the port pin, particular port pin, either as a digital output, digital input, analog input or alternate functionality. So this we have seen in our previous lectures, that the mode register, any port pin has 2 bits reserved in the mode register. So bit n minus 1, right? Or we can say bit n and bit n plus 1. So these 2 bits are reserved for any port pin. So when we write 0 0, it is configured as input, digital input. When we write as 0 1, it is configured as output. When we write as 1 0, it is configured as alternate functionality. And when we write as 1 1, it is configured as analog input. Okay, this we have seen in our previous video, this we have seen, and this we have seen. So only thing remaining is this, right? So in this video we are going to see this, how to configure the alternate functionality of GPIO register, right? So first thing we will need to check like which functionalities are available on port pin and where to find those, right? Our question will be where to find alternate functionalities port pin. Okay, so we'll go into the data sheet. We'll go into the user manual. We'll go into the data sheet. So in the data sheet, if you search alternate function mapping, you'll get the alternate functionality of each of the port pins. So here it is mentioned that port pin, then the port pin name and the alternate functionality. So in this table you can see that there are total 16 of alternate functionalities from starting from AF0 to AF15. But for each port pin, only few of the functionalities are there. So out of 16, not all are used. Only few are used and rest of them are reserved. So in case of PA0, we have timer to channel 1, we have timer 5 channel 1, we have user to CTS clear to send, and we have event out. These 4 functionality we have on PA0, right? Similarly on PA1, what we have is timer to channel 2, timer 5 channel 2, user to RTS, and event out. That similarly goes for PA2, timer to channel 3, timer 5 channel 3, timer 9 channel 1, user to TX, and event out. So here you can see that like for PA0 and PA1 we have total 4 functionalities, alternate functionalities. But for PA2, right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 functionalities, right? Then for PA3 we have total 5 functionalities. For PA5 we have 4 functionalities. For PA4 we have 4 functionalities. For PA5 we have only 3 functionalities, right? So likewise it goes on, right? You can see rest of the port pins and you can check like which alternate functionalities are available on the port pins. Now what these numbers signifies, like what does AF0 mean, AF1, AF2, AF3, and what is the significance, why we are looking at this table particularly, right? So just let's consider this number as 45. This is page number 45, right? So now we have found out that on PA0 we have total 4 alternate functionalities, right? So these alternate functionalities are user to CTS, right, timer to channel, then timer 5 channel, and event out, right? These 4 functionalities are there. So we have seen that like in mode register we can set the alternate functionality. In mode register we have seen that we can set the alternate functionality. So out of this 4 functionality, alternate functionality, how we can select this functionality, user to 1, user, timer 2, timer 5, or event out? How we can set this functionality, or how we can configure these functionalities, right? There must be some way, there must be some registers in which we can configure this, correct? So we will see those. So let's come to the user manual. Sorry, let's come to the data sheet. First we will see like for PA0. PA0 timer to channel 1 functionality is on AF01. So this functionality, timer to channel 1, timer 5 channel 1, this is on AF01. Then timer 5 channel 1, it is on AF02. So let's write it here, AF02. Event out is on AF15. Event out is on AF15, and user to CTS is on AF07, right? This is on AF07. Now this data, sorry, this is 07. This data is important, right? Why important? Because from this data we came to know like which functionality we need to set, where to set in order to select the alternate functionality, correct? So let's see that register also. Let's come to the user manual. See, in the mode register, right, we want to set the alternate functionality for PA0, and this is for in mode register 2 bits are reserved for one port pin. So bit number 0 and 1 are reserved for PA0, 2 and 3 are reserved for PA1, 4 and 5 reserved for PA2, likewise. So this mode 3 means PA3, mode register for PA3, or mode register bits for PA3, mode register bits for PA4, mode register bits for PA5, likewise we can consider those, right? Now we have to write 10 in order to select the alternate functionality mode. Okay, so we will write 10 over here, and the lower nibble will be 0010. Okay, so why 00? Because we only want to set this bit number 1, and we don't want to be other bits to be affected. So what we have done is we are making the lower nibble as 0010, that is 2, and we are keeping the rest of the bits as 00. Now whatever the value previously we have written into the mode registers, we don't want to change it. That's why we are using an or operation, right? Or operation with this value. So this will set only bit number 1, thus configuring the PA0 in alternate functionality mode. Okay, now in GPIO there is one register, that is alternate functionality register. So in alternate functionality there are two registers, alternate function low register and alternate function high register. In each 32-bit register, right, 4 bit are reserved for one port pin. So for PA0, bit from bit number 3 to 0 are reserved for PA0, bit number 7 to 4 are reserved for PA1, bit number 11 to 8 are reserved for PA2, 15 to 12 are reserved for PA3, likewise. Okay, and in high register, alternate function high register, PA8 to PA15, this is reserved for AFRH, or this is reserved in AFRH, right? See, now we know, right, that we want to configure this the lower nibble for PA0, right? So in AFRL, we need to configure from bit number 3 to bit number 0, right? And what we need to configure, right, that we need to see. So let's configure timer to channel 1. So let's configure this functionality, right? In order to select this functionality, what we will have to use is AF01. So let's come to datasheet. We have to select AF01. So AF0, what we have to write is 0001 in the lower nibble. So we'll have to write 0001. This will set the AF01 functionality. So when we write 0001 in bit number 3 to 0, we set for PA0. So in our code, what we have done is in GPIO AFRL, we have set the lower nibble. This means we have configured PA0 for timer to channel 1 configuration. So that is how we set the alternate functionality for any port pin. Okay. Now few points to be considered before we set the any port pin, right, in alternate functionality mode. So first will be I'll use this pen, red one. First will be enable GPIO peripheral clock. second will be select mode in mode register. Okay, and third is select alternate functionality in either AFRL or AFRH. Right, this is for PA0 to PA7, right, PA7, and this is for PA8 to PA15. So this way we can configure the port pin into alternate functionality. Now how to use that alternate functionality on the particular port pin, that we will see in the next lecture. As we have not seen any timers, UART, SPI, I2C functionality, we cannot proceed further. But obviously once we use the timer or UART or SPI, I2C functionality, we will definitely see this topic again. So if you have any questions regarding this topic, if you have not understood any topic clearly, just let me know. I'll surely try to cover that topic into the next video. Coming back to the code, so as I have mentioned, like first we enable the peripheral clock. Here we have enabled the peripheral clock RCC using RCC HB1 ENR. We have enabled the peripheral clock for GPIO A, as we are using GPIO register only. Then here we have set the mode and we have set the timer to channel 1 alternate functionality on PA0. Rest of the things are taken from the previous video itself, so there is no doubt in that. I assume that you will have no doubt in that. If you have any questions regarding this, please let me know. So if you enjoy my explanation, if you like this video, please give it a like, share with your friends, and thanks for watching this video. We'll see you in the next video.